Hello there, welcome to Deadbeat Devs episode 3. Today we have something very special. Some oatmeal chocolate chip cookies made special by Alex. Don't mind if I do.
It's the only cookie for the PC Master Race. These actually are really good though.
They are. Chris, a good job.
Alright. Technology and stuff.
Yeah.
Time to kick off for real. God, this is gonna be really annoying. I'm sorry about this. I need some notes.
That's so damn good.
Alright, for realsies. Episode 3. A go-go, baby. We're gonna be just doing our normal thing, talking about some tech articles. Kind of more towards the end, I got the idea. I want to be a bit more positive with the news. So we can talk about ISP nonsense and, you know, all that junk for days. But, I don't know. I just want to talk about the positive sides of technology, you know, what good it's doing for us as a society. And, you know, yeah, we can talk about minor advancements, like some new technologies that are coming out, you know, within the months. But I kind of also want to get, you know, a bigger view, talk about technology, where it's going to be 10 years from now, even though that, as hard as that is to predict.
If you want all that negative stuff, just turn on your TV and watch your local news.
Yeah, it's available in troves. But since we picked out some of these articles before we kind of got that idea, there's a little bit of negativity at the beginning, so bear with us. First one actually has to do with privacy.
Still pretty funny though.
Yeah, well, this is more funny actually, and I think it's very important that we talk about it. But what's that? Read the title.
Go right ahead. Oh, I'm enjoying the cookie.
I'm
I'm enjoying the cookie. I'm sorry.
Anyways, the title on the screen, I'll show you right there. It's the artist proves people will give away their personal data for a cookie.
For one of these, I would.
I'm okay. Yeah. Not even one of my cookies though is the issue.
Oh.
So.
Fuck that noise.
So, pretty much the gist of the article is there's an artist, and take it with a grain of salt because it was at an art convention. And he designed these really nice cookies, and they were really interesting flavors, I guess, like, you know, smokehouse bacon cookies, you know, something probably you want to try. And he designed them with the Facebook logo, the Twitter logo, or, you know, whatever social media logo he felt like.
Instagram?
I think Instagram was probably on there. And he gave people the form to sign. Basically, the gist of the form was, fill out this and you can have a cookie. Information included on the form, let's actually just scroll through here. I know there's social security number,
mother's maiden name,
driver's
license numbers, your address,
yeah,
and even your fingerprints too.
Yeah, people were actually giving this guy their fingerprints. It just really concerns me that people did not know the impact, you know, what someone can do with all this information, and they were giving it to them for a cookie. Like, if this guy wanted to, he could. There's nothing stopping him from stealing the identity of every single person who filled out
their money, empty out their entire bank accounts, ruin their lives.
And by the way, there were 380 people that did this for him. Some people, they didn't even want their cookies. They just wanted pictures with the guy and the cookies. So I think for that, he made them trade fingerprints, or maybe just a social security number.
So
but,
your entire identity for either an interestingly flavored cookie or a picture with the guy and the cookie.
Yeah. So really, I mean, this just speaks to the fact that people, they can't understand the digital analog divide, you know.
That is the difference between digital information and physical information.
Yeah, I mean, people having this information, it's just as bad as someone raiding your house and, you know, stealing your social security card. And people just can't seem to grasp that it's equally as bad. You know, it's a bit less traumatic because it's less overt, but still.
I think it would be different if, like you said, if the guy actually came to the person's house and said, here, you can have a cookie if I get to go into your house and go through all your stuff.
Yeah.
And just, you know, take what I want.
Maybe. Whatever. It's really concerning, and, you know, this is why privacy is such a big issue. If people were totally cognizant of, you know, how just awful all this, you know, this spying is, none of this would happen, but
unfortunately, people are not fully aware. Anyway, moving on.
So moving on to, we're doing more about privacy.
Cookie. They are good.
More about privacy. And this is just an interesting snippet from, I believe it's a podcast, where a guy kind of expresses the typical I don't care kind of mentality about data collection, and he goes through all the implications of it, and he talks about the digital analog divide, and he says, if there was an FBI officer who knocked on your door and asked, didn't even ask, actually just came in, and I think I'll quote him as best I can. He says, he came in, rifled through all your stuff, took all of your information, and wiped his butt cheeks on your linens just to see if that fabric softener from Amazon was working. You might be a little bit more offended, if that was happening. So it's a little bit funny, but really kind of deeply disturbing. We will link to this.
We get the point, yeah.
We'll link to it. There's not much else to say about it. Give it a watch or a listen. It's very funny, and just kind of spread. Make sure this information comes up. If you're talking to someone about this, don't blow it off. Don't say I don't care.
You should care. You should care about this stuff. It's very important.
Yeah, just make people aware in conversation of the true implications of it, and maybe you'll spread a little knowledge that way. But
and hopefully the human race will be better for it.
We hope so. Let's elevate us.
Anyway, moving on.
We're blazing through these negative articles. We want to get away from this negativity. Yeah. But this one,
kind of funny.
Yeah, a little bit of a comic video. Comcast released a video trying to downplay the goods that come from municipal fiber.
Those sneaky bastards.
That essentially is fiber laid out typically by your local government, and that's happening in places like Chattanooga, and it is the typical example.
Yeah.
And really no bad. There's been no negative sides to it, except for of course Comcast and the incumbent ISPs.
I mean, if you're Comcast, then I guess it is a bad thing to you.
Yeah, it's all these people laying out fiber, getting good internet speeds and
at great prices.
At great prices, damn it!
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So this is just another ploy by Comcast. There have been several of these. They're trying to basically downplay all the things that are actually going to compete with them, because I don't think they've honestly had competition really ever.
They don't know what it's like to have competition. They don't like it now.
Yeah, they're very afraid, and granted they should be again. But again, we'll link it. Give it a watch if you want. But good news about Comcast. The title of this article is that they're pulling the plug on the Comcast Time Warner merger, but that's not quite the case. However, they are putting a delay on it.
It's a good sign.
Yep. So
but,
there was essentially a 180-day period for the FCC to approve or reject this merger. They essentially put a stop on that because they need to review further. And typically in the past, when this kind of thing has happened, it later gets denied, the merger. So the one big example is was Sprint and T-Mobile just a few years ago. The same thing happened.
No, a few years ago. It was actually just this summer that it was being talked about. I remember.
Well, Sprint and No. Sorry, it was what Sprint and
AT&T and T-Mobile.
AT&T, T-Mobile. That's right.
There you go.
Yeah, that was a few years ago, and it went into the same period, the same delay period, and it got denied. So there's hope yet that this juggernaut for the U.S. Cable company.
If the past is anything to be learned from, this does mean the end of it, but we can't say for sure.
But it looks good.
It's looking very good.
Yeah, and this is the implications for. It's really only for people in the U.S. obviously, and even within the U.S., it's mostly on the coastline and parts of the western coast, the eastern coast and parts of the western coast. But I mean, the implications, anywhere in the world could be felt if this were to go through. So that's why we think it's important.
Because it can be seen from the rest of the world as an example.
Yeah,
if
a greedy CEO in country X sees this and he goes, they got away with that. Why can't we? And then it's a snowball effect. So it's best to stop it right at the beginning.
Moving on.
So, kind of transitioning into a more positive feel, despite the name of this article. It's why we live in an anti-tech age.
Now, you might be thinking, how can that be true? Technology is stronger than it ever was, and it's only getting stronger.
Yeah. So while it is true that we're surrounded by technology all the time, the point that this author makes is, while that is true, we always seem to be releasing new technology on the daily. None of this technology is truly revolutionary, and I really agree with him.
No one's reinvented the light bulb or the wheel
Yeah.
or rediscovered fire.
No technology within the past, say, like 20 years has done anything really new. It's just done it in a smaller, faster way.
In other words, we've just been improving things that we've already been doing.
Yeah. And this guy's just saying he's waiting for the next big thing, and I kind of agree with him.
It makes sense if you think about it.
Yeah, this might be a bit, it's definitely clickbait, the title and all that, but there are some good points in it. It's just something to think about. Yeah, try and think of like the last, big invention. The personal computer came out in what, 80s.
Yeah, and then after that, it's
When was the Apple II? Apple II was like late 70s or really early 80s.
it's been a
right around
while.
there.
It's been a while, and then since then, it's not like it's been reinvented. It's just been improved
Yeah.
upon.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's regardless of any of the clickbait title and everything. He makes some good points. So
Anyway,
that officially ends our negativity, and we're gonna go into the
after the fun stuff.
yes, because that's what technology is. It's exciting, it's fun, and positive on the whole. This one probably will concern a lot of people. A new Wi-Fi protocol coming from Samsung, AD Wireless.
And whether you're really big into technology or not, this concerns everybody with a smartphone.
You will be using this.
Oh, yeah.
At some point. So so for those of you who don't know, the current top tier Wi-Fi protocol is AC, which is 5 gigahertz. Samsung is planning on releasing they're researching right now Wi-Fi, which will be 60 gigahertz, and this puts us at a speed of, I believe it's about 4.5 gigabit.
4.6 gigabits per second.
4.6 gigabits per
Or
second.
575 megabytes per second.
Yeah, so I mean that's a full HD movie over Wi-Fi. So long as you have an AD card and router in like a few seconds.
That's incredible. I mean, if you're not impressed by that, I don't know what will impress you.
Yeah, so I think this is really significant for. It's going to make a big change in like things like in-home streaming. Particularly gaming. I think it's right now like 1080p, 30 frames a second, which is decent, but
it could be better.
Yeah, so with a cheap wireless PC I can slap on the back of a TV, I can now stream from my gaming rig upstairs.
Like that mini Zotac PC.
Yeah, the mini Zotac PC.
Pico.
Yeah,
What's it called?
I don't know. It's like $150.
Yeah.
Whatever. But what was I saying? Yeah, basically I could slap a mini PC on the back of a TV and probably stream 1080p, 60 hertz, or even higher. I haven't really done the calculations. Maybe even 4K at a lower.
That would be very impressive.
Yeah, those are the kinds of things that you could do with a technology like this. It's pretty cool. Keep your eyes out for it. They say they're going to be releasing it within just a few months, I believe.
Now that's something to look forward to.
Yes.
That's something we really can't wait for.
Yeah, unofficial, but yeah, it'll be 60 hertz wireless. Moving on. Let's see. So for those of you who don't know, TechCrunch Disrupt concluded last week, and much to a lot of people's chagrin, the winner was a group who created an app that lets you search for essentially maids and people who will do your day-to-day activities, grocery shopping and laundry.
And just to clarify, what apps lost to that?
Yeah, so one's dealing with silly things like healthcare and
Who needs that?
let's see. There's actually a list of the ones that lost to it.
Oh, let's see.
So some of the apps that lost, or not even not just like
Didn't
phone
win.
apps.
Didn't win.
Any of the other things that lost, they're not all apps. Were in, let's see, healthcare, robotics, artificial intelligence, and sensors. Just silly nonsense things that we don't really need.
Nah, we need maids. People to deliver our groceries.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, we need that kind of stuff.
those 1%ers.
Forget those robots and artificial intelligence. What do we need that for?
That's not the wave of the future. It's maids.
Oh.
Kind of disappointing. I think this has to do mostly with who the judges were.
Yeah.
The one they said in the article was the CEO of Yahoo, who is a bit of a Yahoo. Yeah, kind of disappointing, but hey, maybe next year will be better. More positive news. It looks like As of a few months ago, electric vehicle sales in the U.S. are up 50%.
That's impressive.
That's very good.
That's very good.
I'm happy about it. I think Tesla is probably happy about it.
I'm sure they are. They're like one of the only manufacturers of electric vehicles so far. Where they're the at the top of it right now.
Yeah. So there's that. Kind of stands by itself. Just something else I wanted to bring in. Apparently Tesla. I don't think we didn't talk about this, but Tesla is soon they'll start to sell used cars.
All right.
I don't remember seeing a price. I don't think there was a price, but the cheapest new Tesla right now is $35,000.
So going down from used, I would say it would probably cost you about somewhere in the 20s.
Yeah. I
So
mean,
basically the price of a new car. I mean, granted it will be used, but I mean,
it's
I would buy a used Tesla.
yeah, it starts to be more feasible.
Oh yeah.
Especially if you factor in, if you have a renewable energy, if you have solar panels in your house and you factor in gas, it probably insurance
Easily
is cheaper.
worth it.
It starts to be a little bit. Actually, I don't think insurance is cheaper. It's probably higher, if not the same.
I would say it would be more the same. I don't think they would charge you more because
I don't know.
whatever.
Point is, you might start seeing more of these, and this is just kind of the first step. I'm sure cheaper Teslas will come out. They'll probably be like an everyman's Tesla a few years from now. You never know with Elon Musk. He's insane.
Insanely awesome.
Insanely awesome.
Yeah.
Not unlike this. Okay, it's still a DVD, but it is still pretty cool that researchers in, I believe, where is it? Australia's Swinburne University of Technology have discovered
That's impressive.
So they have a new way to encode DVDs or write to DVDs, and they can now store. They're claiming 1,000 terabytes on a DVD.
Or 40,000 HD movies.
Yeah, if you
Like, can you even think of 40,000 movies that you could put on one DVD?
yeah.
I mean, you could just download all HD movies ever.
Sure. So basically, how this works, they needed to basically get the laser that they use to write the DVD smaller. So they essentially have two overlapping, a 491 millimeter laser overlapping a 500 millimeter laser. So they essentially just get 10 millimeters, nanometers actually, sorry, to write with. And this just allows them to write insanely dense amounts of data. So that's why they're able to do 1,000 terabytes. Some issues I see with this, at DVD write speeds, how long does it take to write one of these things? And also, first, I don't even know how long DVDs last. I think it's like 10 years, maybe.
Really?
Yeah, and
Also, the idea of keeping your entire digital DVD library on one disc that, God forbid, anything happens to that, whether it gets scratched, or you lose it, it breaks.
no!
All my movies! No!
Yeah, I mean that's a little bit of too many eggs in one basket kind of thing.
40,000 eggs in one basket.
40,000 HD movie eggs. Anyways, kind of cool.
It's still cool.
I don't know how practical, but hey.
This one was funny.
Yeah, we'll just be real quick on this one. We thought it was kind of funny. I don't know if this picture has anything to do with it, but Johnny Drone Hunter, whatever. Basically,
Defender of privacy.
Defender of privacy. Basically, there are no laws, or drones are kind of the Wild West, and the laws aren't well defined. So a man in New Jersey, who, when his neighbor flew his quadcopter over kind of near his house, he took out a shotgun and shot it down.
Flew it right out of the sky.
I don't know this. I don't know the background behind this. I don't know if there's probably some tension between the two.
I imagine there would be. I don't think you would just, if you see a quadcopter, it's like, oh, I gotta shoot that down. But it's like, if you just don't like your neighbor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the guy was claiming, it could be a threat to him. It could be an invasion of privacy if it has a camera on it.
That seems a little more of a viable argument, but I mean.
Yeah. Point is, basically there are no laws on this. Some people who are just really interested in drones, they may want to keep an eye out for this. The future of drone law could kind of depend on something like this. If not,
on Johnny Drone Hunter.
Yeah. As it stands right now, I think this guy, he's getting charged for possession of weapon and destruction of property. Yeah. So I don't know if we find anything that happens from this. we'll talk about it next week. But as of right now, I guess just keep an eye on it.
Anyway, moving on. We talked about this once before in a past episode, so we'll just quickly go back to it.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really too much else to say about it. But I just keep seeing, articles about the Firefox OS and how it seemed to just spark pretty, at least, from
Pretty
what.
instantaneous.
Yeah,
Kinda
I
sprang
believe it came out in 2011, but I didn't hear much about it.
I didn't know anything about it until you showed me the first article.
Yeah, I hadn't
heard
heard
of it.
I hadn't even heard much about it. I knew it was out, but it just seems that recently it's really catching on. Mostly because I think there are like about a dozen phones now that come shipped with Firefox OS, and they're all very cheap. Like the one we talked about a few not the last episode.
I think it was
but
our
the one
first
before,
episode.
Our first episode.
Yeah.
Again, it's just really interesting. There's gonna be a bunch of these. I don't even know smartphones.
Might be a new competitor in the smartphone market.
Not in developed countries, but certainly in Asia and Africa. These are going to be everywhere.
Because it's just so cheap, so affordable.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it'll be great over there. It's a great benefit.
Very cool stuff.
Anyway, moving on.
This one, I included just kind of dispel some rumors. So someone basically discovered that there was essentially a keylogger in the Windows 10 technical preview. I don't know why it became such a big deal. Windows 10, the technical preview, it's out, so Microsoft can improve their product, get feedback, and then actually release it, with a bunch of bugs fixed and everything. So they need data to make those decisions and find out exactly what's wrong. So that's why this is included. If it's included in the final version, yeah,
then everyone has a right to be pissed off and upset over it.
But
as things are right now, no one knows for sure. I mean, we can only assume that they won't have it in the final version because no one would use it.
No, yeah. So, yeah, I don't know if you've heard about this. I don't understand why it's a big deal personally.
Just for now, if you don't like it, don't use it. But if you want to try it out, just don't do anything that you wouldn't want Microsoft to know about.
Yes. Anyways, yeah, just what, 2 more articles here?
Yeah.
This one, you want to just take the wheels on this one?
I mean, yeah, it's pretty simple. It's excuse me. Microsoft's Android Wear keyboard lets you draw letters on your smartwatch. Basically, they're trying to improve the way we type, I guess, or with smartwatches. You just, instead of typing out on a keyboard, you just kind of draw the letter, each individual letter with your, on the watch, and then it just puts it into a message. I don't know how I feel about this. I feel like that's just really inconvenient.
They were reaching for something to work.
I mean, if it works where it can recognize whatever letters you scribble out on the face of the watch, that's it points for innovation. But I feel like that's a lot more inconvenient than just pulling out my phone and using the keyboard on it.
Especially for anything longer than see you soon or whatever. It seems a bit cumbersome, but hey, I think that's about the best keyboard I've seen on a smartwatch.
On a watch, a keyboard on a watch.
Yeah. Oh, well,
to begin with.
Okay, so not a keyboard, but typing device.
Tool.
Yes, typing tool. We'll call it that. Anyways, last article. We're talking about the Raspberry Pi. It's still around and it's still selling really well. I think they've moved about 4 million of these units across the different generations. Not too much to say about this, except for, let's see, just make sure I get the time right. All right, so TechCrunch Disrupt Europe, which is the one that takes place after the one in Silicon Valley, in London. Keep an eye out for Tuesday, October 21st at 2:50 p.m. London time. So that's Greenwich Mean Time.
You'll have to do a little bit of a.
Yeah, us on the East Coast, I think they're 6 hours ahead, so it's 8:50. 8:50 a.m. Yeah, I might watch that, or at least I'll watch the video afterwards.
It's not too early.
So it looks like Eben Upton, who was one of the co-founders of the Raspberry Pi company, he's going to talk about the new B Plus model and just kind of where they're going with the Raspberry Pi. If you're at all interested, check it out. Could be cool.
I myself own a B Plus model of the Raspberry Pi.
Tons of fun. 4 USB ports. And what does it still cost? $35?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you get the whole kit that has the case, the Wi-Fi adapter, all the little bells and whistles that go with it. $100. Still not bad.
Yeah, I mean, for a fully functioning Linux computer, If you don't know what a Raspberry Pi is, check it out.
No, it is not a food.
Anyways, yeah, that is it for articles. The only thing we have left this week is
our media recommendation.
So I don't know if this even counts as a media, but
A form of media.
Oatmeal chocolate chip cookies. No. So media recommendation of the week. If you don't know about it, check it out. It's kind of at this point, I don't even know how well maintained it is, but it's still funny. Worth a read through the thing. The Hacker Jargon File, or simply the Jargon File. It's kind of a compendium of, different hacker terms, how the hacker community got started, and if you care about that kind of history, hey, check it out. It's pretty funny. Yeah, at the very least, read. I believe it's called like a picture of J Random Hacker or something of J Random Hacker. I don't know. I read it a little while ago, but it's kind of funny. It just tells you what the typical hacker is like, and I don't know.
They're not as evil as you think.
It's essential nerd reading, though. Take a look at it. You don't have to read through the whole thing. There are a million links. It's like a Wikipedia page reading through the a jargon file page. But yeah, check it out. If you don't know what it is, you owe it to yourself to look at it.
All right, that's about it.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching episode 3. If you like it, like this video. If you want to see more, hit that subscribe button.
Yeah.
If you like the articles we talked about, if you want to know more, hit us up in the comments below. We'll try to get back to you.
Yeah, I'll post all the articles. I will actually do it this time in the description below, so you can check them out if anything's interesting. But
Deadbeat Devs signing off.